Hi, this is Mike Peterson from Challenge Island, Oakland County East, back with another one of our STEAMtastic Fridays. So today we're going to tackle the T in STEAM, which stands for technology. If there was an H in the word STEAM, we'd be actually doing a little history today as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about computers and about the early technology that helped to make computers work. And we're also going to leave you with a code that you can use to write in a special language that we're going to call punch code language. So to explain what we're doing, let me show you an example first. This is what we're talking about today. So if you haven't seen one of these before, this is called a punch card. So it's about 3 inches high, about 7 inches wide. It's about 7,000 7-inch thick. And this is how we used to talk to computers back a long time ago. So these have been around from about 1930 to about 1980 or so. Then they started to fade away. The inventor of the punch card was a man named Herman Hollerith. And where he got the idea from was from seeing looms that were used back in the 1800s. So what a loom is if you go to like a art museum or a craft museum where they're weaving things, so making special cloths or tablecloths or blankets out of string. So something has to tell that loom how to mix all the patterns together to get all the colors to work out so it looks really cool when they're done. The way they would do that is they would use a version of a punch card to give those instructions to the loom so they knew what pattern to weave in. So when Herman saw that, he thought, hey, that might be a good way to tell computers what to do as well, because that was way before we had keyboards and computer screens and things like that. So he created this punch card and then realized that he could put patterns in it to line up with different letters and numbers to tell the computer what to do. So if you look really close here, you'll see at the top of this card, there's the instruction that we had to give the computer. So that's in what we call a control language. And then each of those letters got punched in as a combination of different holes on the card so that the computer could shine a light through those holes and then know which letter went with each instruction. So let me show you in more detail. So when you first saw those holes, it probably looked kind of random in terms of, okay, what's the pattern here? So let me show you a bigger example that more clearly shows what that pattern was. So up here along the top, we've got the letters and numbers for 0 through 9, A through Z, some special characters. We don't worry too much about those. But what they did is they would punch a number from 0 through 9 in the bottom. Then they would sometimes punch one of these rows, either the up row or the down row, to get every possible combination so we could do all the letters and all the numbers that way. So for example, for A, you can see there was a hole for the up row and also a 0. Or J was the down row and a 1. So let's take a look at how we can actually create our own punch code language to write messages. So here's how that code we showed you on the punch cards actually breaks down. So if you want to write a 0 through 9, you would just write a 0 through 9. So over here is what you're going to actually write in the punch code language. When we get to the letters, though, that's where it gets a little more secret looking. So for the letter A, so on the punch cards, if you remember, we would have to punch a hole in the top row, the upper row of the punch card. So we'll use an up arrow to show that upper row, and then a 1 because it's the first letter. So A will be up 1, B will be up 2, C will be up 3, and so forth down to I. That'll use up the numbers 1 through 9. When we get to J, we're going to use that second row of the punch card. We'll call that the down row. So J will be down and 1, K will be down 2, all the way down to the letter R, so that's down 9. And then just because the number of letters didn't quite work out, they used a slash a lot in those days with the computer language, so that got its own special code. But we'll skip from R to S. So S is going to be the 0 row and the 2 row, so 2 holes again. So 0, 2 for S, 0, 3 for T, all the way down to 0, 9 for Z. So we can use those different codes to get every letter we want. So just to show you an example of how you can do that, let's say you wanted to write the word STEAM in punch code language. Here's what it would look like. So using that code that we just showed you, S would be 0, 2, T would be 0, 3, E would be up 5, A would be up 1 because it was the first letter, and M was down 4. So So feel free to give that a try at home. So if you want to scroll back in the video to where we showed you the actual decoder ring for how to do those, feel free to take a look at that and make your own version of that and see if you can send some special punch code language secrets to your friends and family. All right, thank you very much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again next week.